Hey, welcome to my program and to my website. Doing a show this week on education reform in this country today. We are doing education-wise about the same we've done for the last 50 years. We train our teachers the same way. We pay our teachers less. We don't appreciate the value that they bring to the table for our kids. And we really haven't seen much progress. I think America ranks about 30th when you compare us to other countries throughout the world. In some areas we test a little higher, but we're way down the list in terms of industrial companies like England, Germany, China, Russia. We just don't match up when it comes to how our kids are being tested. Now, one thing I've learned a good bit about and gotten excited about are charter schools. I've written about it in my column this week. You'll see my daughter Campbell, who quite frankly has been a huge influence on me, talking about it. If you look at the website and listen to her speech before a large crowd in New York City. I happened to go up last week, had the honor of being there with my kid. We're all proud of our children, but my kid really hit a home run. I hope you'll watch the video of her talking about charter schools on the website. She's been very committed to the charter school focus. Her kids do not go to charter schools. They go to private schools. But she feels like the charter schools are the key to bringing underprivileged kids into the mainstream, particularly when they've got parental guidance, parents who care so much. You see, we don't allow choice in public education in this country today at the elementary and secondary level. You choose everything else. You choose the college you go to. You choose the hospital you go to. You choose products that you buy. You've got a wide range of choices in this country, except when it comes to where your kid goes to school. If it's not the neighborhood school, they're bused across town, and they are told where they go to school. Charter schools say that's not the way to do it, that parents should be involved. They should be involved in picking the principal, in setting standards for the teachers, helping to develop the curriculum, and just having more flexibility, not the cookie cutter, one size fits all, like we have in schools throughout the United States. They've been very successful. I mentioned New York. Now, obviously, there's a lot of money up in New York. My daughter raised about $10 million up there. The money's still coming in at the speech that she made. Governor Jeb Bush was principal speaker up that way, and the results have been tremendous. The accolades she's gotten has been tremendous. Like I say, I'm a proud dad, but I'm also results-oriented, and she's certainly gotten the results up there. Now, you say, well, these charter schools may be from more apparent families that are taking care of these kids. Go look at the figures in my column this week. Only 3% of the charter school participants in this Success Academy, these 32 public schools my daughter Campbell's involved in, only 3% are white. The rest of the kids are African American, Hispanic, some Asians in the mix, and they're doing tremendously in math. These kids test in the upper 1% of all the schools in New York. Let me say that again, the upper 1% of all the schools in New York. And they test in the upper 7% for English. This idea of throwaway kids or the fact that race has a bearing on how well you can attain goes out the window when you see what these charter schools have done. They've been a tremendous success with curriculum and training these kids. It was really exciting to see one of the young men who spoke. The kid was a 6th grader. Don't remember what his name was. Ezekiel Jones, I believe, something close like that. He gets up before this crowd of 1,000 people in New York City and says, "Let me tell you my name. Let me tell you who I am. I will be a graduate of Harvard University in 2024." The kid's a 6th grader. I was dumbfounded by the enthusiasm, by the interest, by the smiles, by the energy of these kids who know that education is a key to their success. So I hope you'll read the column and look closely at charter schools. Now, there's a lot of opposition to charter schools. There's legislation down where I live in Louisiana saying that you have to limit the number of charter schools, particularly if the schools in that area are giving a C or a B ranking, maybe an A ranking. If all the schools reach a C, you can't divert money, because money does come from the pot of public schools. Of course, what the charter schools are saying, well, you don't have to educate these kids. We're educating them for you. And charter schools are saying, if we get a C or a B, then rather the public schools are saying you don't need to allow charter schools to grow. Charter schools answered by saying, well, maybe there's a B grade overall in the parish or the county, but that doesn't mean that every school has a B. And that doesn't mean that if the school has a B, that every child reaches that level. You've got kids that maybe are struggling. It would fit in much more into the individual curriculum you see in a charter school. So it's complicated, but you got to put your heart out on the table when you see these kids, see what they're able to do. And I think charter schools are a good vehicle to reach this goal. Hope you'll read my column this week and see what you think, because I think the future of education has to change. We can't be the same as we've been for the last 50 years. We can't be cookie cutter where one size fits all. We've got to adapt and let parental involvement make a huge, huge difference. And I think with charter schools it does. Hey, thanks for coming to my website this week. Hope you listen to my radio show this weekend, various times throughout the country, coast to coast, on Genesis Communication Network.